Welcome to the Success with McIntosh blog. We're just starting this up, but the first thing that we figured we would do, it was Sarah's idea. This is Sarah, my administrative assistant.
Hi.
And we decided we were going to start doing blogs, and the first thing we wanted to do was go ahead and go over some of the questions that people ask Sarah almost on a daily basis, and just go over all the emails we've gotten and the questions that come up on a frequent basis and see if we could answer some of them. So, Sarah, what questions do you want me to answer?
Well, I have a few of them. I guess the big one is, what is the definition of a success coach?
Oh man, you didn't pick an easy one, did you?
No. No.
Okay, in a nutshell, a success coach is somebody that helps you create a vision and define what your vision is going to be, and then create a blueprint for achieving that vision, and then making the steps on it that you need to take in each day to get to that vision. So basically, if you and I were coaching, we would work together to define where you want to be, say, a year from now, and set up a blueprint for getting there, and then set up a plan for daily steps to get there. So a year from now, you're where you want to be. I think the biggest part of being a success coach is helping somebody to actually define their vision, because most people don't have one. You can ask a lot of people, what's your main vision, what's your main goal, and they're going to say, I want to make X number of dollars a month. And that's not really a vision. Now, like I tell people, if that was really your vision, if you told me your vision was to make $10,000 a month, then the day you made $10,000 a month, you'd be done. You did it. You could go live in a cave forever because you just achieved your whole life's vision of making $10,000 in a month.
Right.
There's nothing else to live for because you made your $10,000. That's not really a vision. You want to make that $10,000 a month for a reason. You want to live somewhere specific. You want to get married and grow a family. There's a reason why you want that $10,000 a month, because that's what it costs to really achieve your vision. But until you take the time to think it through and figure out what your vision is, which most people don't, then that's what a success coach does. Is they sit down with you and ask you questions. As a coach, I never tell you what you're supposed to do. I only ask you questions that make you think things through and figure out for yourself what's important to you. I don't know what success is to you. I can't tell you that in order to be successful you need this, 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 and this, because that might not match my definition of success. We all have our own.
Right.
And so my job is just to ask you questions and to help you define what success is for you, and then help you to create a blueprint. And then I work as an accountability partner with you and work together on achieving those goals that you set for yourself.
Right. Okay, so the second question was, what does it entail? But you're already kind of saying that, so I guess that's answered.
Yeah, there's actually, I do it in 3 segments. The first, and if you go to my website, you'll see the different programs that are set up that I work with. Each one of them, the first 2 are 3-month segments. The first 3 months that we work together, we work on defining a vision for you. The second 3 months, the next program is to help you set up a blueprint to achieve what your vision is. And then the last one is a month-to-month. It's a long-term program that you just keep going as long as you want to, that works on the plan that you set up. And we work together, and we're co-partners in achieving that vision that you set up for yourself.
Right.
So there are steps to it. And it's amazing how there's a lot more to creating a vision than people think.
Right.
And when you don't just sit down in an hour and create your vision. When you really create and define your vision, I mean you really create it, you live it, you close your eyes and you picture it and you smell it and you feel it and you know exactly where you want to be a year from now. And the advantage to taking the time to do that is that when things get tough, you can put yourself in that place and you can remember what you're working towards. And you can remember what it's going to cost you if you don't get there. And it's a real motivator.
Right.
If you don't really know what you're working towards, it's hard to get motivated.
Right. See that. Okay, so what got you started in this then? So what made you start all this?
I have been in the music industry for longer than I can admit to. It's been a while. And I've worked with artists, and I've loved the music industry. And I know a lot of really successful artists that I've known since before they were really successful artists. And I've been through a lot of things with them. You know, they'll call me up and and cry on my shoulder when they're having marital problems because they're on tour all the time, or they'll call me because they're having problems with a band member, or they'll have, whatever it is they call. And I've always been there for them. I've always supported them. I've helped them with marketing plans. I've helped them with building websites and EPKs, and I've just gotten involved. I've put bands together. People call me up and say they want to start a new band, and do I have any suggestions on who to use? And I'll say sure, and I'll put them together, and they meet at a studio, and I'm a matchmaker. I mean, it's a little of everything.
Yeah.
And that was what I did basically as a hobby, because I loved it so much, and there were so many people that were just calling me for that reason. I never thought of doing it professionally, though. I wouldn't even know how to label that job back then.
Matchmaker. Musical.
And and so I supported myself and my kids by managing businesses. And I had gone to college. I have an uncle that's an artist manager, and a very successful one. And so he'd always been my idol, and I always wanted to be an artist manager. But family wasn't too hip on that, and there were, I didn't really know if I could do it. And so I decided when I went to college to study business and study music. And so I did both, but I focused on the business because people always felt that that's where I could make my money. And I ended up marrying a CPA, so I did make my money with business. And later in life, I supported myself and the 3 kids by working as a business manager and accountant. But I always missed being involved in the music industry more than I was. That was what my real passion was. And I still spent all my spare time with musicians, going to their gigs, supporting them, building their EPKs, marketing them, building websites, answering questions, supporting them. And
but you just didn't make your money off.
No, I didn't ever get paid a dime for it.
Yeah.
And so I got cancer several years ago, and it kind of put me to where I couldn't do anything, and it really forced me to think about what's important to me. And one of the things when you build a vision is to look back at the moments in your life that you felt the most fulfilled and the happiest, because that is where you're supposed to be. If you look back at your whole life and where you really felt excited about what you're doing, that's really where you should be. So when I looked at that and I looked at my happiest moments, they really had nothing to do with business management.
Yeah.
And so when I finally got through all the cancer stuff, I went back to school and studied coaching and found out that it was a lot more than I thought it would be, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and I've been really excited about it ever since. And so I just dedicated my whole life to doing nothing but coaching artists. However, I have now made it my career. So
right. So you again have answered my other question, which was why choose musicians / entrepreneurs to zero in on.
Because I am both, and I can relate to both. I'm a very right-brained, left-brained person.
Right.
And there are so many artists that really conflict with their managers, because the managers are generally very business-oriented. And they'll say, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. And they're like, no, it's my music, I want to do it this, And they very often have a problem.
Right.
And artists, on the other hand, are generally just so easygoing, and they love their art, and that's all they really care about, and they don't want to deal with the business aspects of stuff, so you clash.
Right.
I tend to be both, and a lot of both, and so I've always really gotten along with artists because I understand their way of thinking. I understand that the way they look at life is very different than somebody that's not an artist.
On the outside.
They look at things differently, they see things differently, they feel things differently, they react to things differently. And I've learned how to really understand that. And I understand their passion for their music, and I understand why they are the way they are. And because of that, we can work together very well. And when I decided to get into coaching, it was so that people could come to me, artists could come to me, and feel safe, and feel like they were not, there's no condemnation, there's no judgment. They can feel safe feeling and thinking and saying whatever they want to.
You also work with entrepreneurs too, like you have, authors and motivators and stuff like that.
I do, and actors, and I've worked with a lot of them, and that's partly because of the business management aspects of my life from before. I just learned how to love business. I learned a lot about all different in a lot of different industries. And what makes me excited about life is seeing myself being part of other people's success.
Right.
And so if I take somebody that owns a restaurant and I can take that restaurant and help build it up, that's exciting to me.
Right.
But my passion just happens to be the arts.
Yeah. Okay.
This is getting out of control. I'm going to have to edit. Hey, no. Gonna have to see how we're gonna work that one out. I still don't want to have to do it all over.
Okay. All right. Back to this. Okay. What is what is the difference between a success coach and like a motivator or a manager? Because they get mixed up a lot. People I talk to, they're like, oh, I know exactly what a coach does. It's just like a basketball coach or someone when they're lifting weights and they can't do it anymore, and they're just like, oh, you can do it, just 10 more. And I'm like, no, that's not what Cynthia does. She's not, she's not that way. So what would you say is the difference between them?
Yeah, I don't do pep rallies.
Right.
A success coach is not somebody that tells you what to do. I personally don't ever tell you if you're doing it right or wrong.
Right.
But what I do is once you tell me, this is what I want to achieve, this is really where I need to be, and you know that that's where you're going to be.
Right.
Then when you start getting off track, or if you start having problems focusing, or if you start having problems setting your priorities, or if you have problems with your relationships that are pulling you off track, or there are any number of things that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm there to support you and remind you of what
you're
there for, what your life is, what you're here on earth for, and what makes you happy, and to remind you of what you're working towards, and put you back in that mindset of remembering where you're supposed to be. And it's really easy to get sidetracked.
Right.
It happens, especially in the music industry, it happens a lot, because people dream about being on stage and being rich and famous, and they're sure that they're just, mom tells them they're amazingly talented, and they just believe that, they're going to be the next Elvis Presley, And the first thing that happens is, as soon as they start getting into the industry and they start getting successful, they find that they can't trust anybody. They find that people start demanding more and more and more out of them. More and more people want to be around them just because.
Mm-hmm.
And they lose sight of who they really are. When they end up having people that tell them how they're supposed to dress, what kind of music they're supposed to write, and they just get lost in it.
Right.
And nobody will tell them no. Nobody will tell them you're doing the wrong thing. Nobody will tell them I'll help you and do it without having strings attached. And so that's kind of what I offer. It's just somebody that can be a close confidant, and somebody that can tell you what it is, like it is, honestly, with no, I have no strings attached. I have no, what's the word I'm looking for?
You're not expecting anything back from
I'm not expecting anything in return.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have any agenda. That's what I was looking for. It's just I just want to be the person that helps you succeed and reminds you of what you're there for.
Right. Reminds them who you are.
Yeah.
They are.
That's
what I meant. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's say, if we were having a coaching session like right now, what would that entail? Like, what questions would you ask me? Like, for example, if you were my old basketball coach, you would be busting my butt to do more suicides, which is a sprinting exercise of those who do not know. What would you focus on? Like, I think you kind of already answered this to begin with, but like what kind of questions would you ask me if it was like?
That's really when you coach somebody, they're the ones that let you know as the client what they want to focus on. I'm not going to make you focus on something that's not when your mind's somewhere else.
Right.
If you're sitting there worried about a relationship that's falling apart, I'm not going to sit there and force you to focus on your finances, because it's not going to work. Your mind's on something else. So really, every time we meet, the client is the one that's going to tell me what they want to focus on that day.
Okay, so you focus on whatever's on their mind, basically.
Yes, because that's obviously what's affecting them today.
You can't really, because you can't really expect them to want to talk about, their job when they're upset about something at home.
Right, right. And being a success coach in the music industry does require that I get involved in all aspects of their lives.
That's a question I have. That's my next question was that.
Okay, well, I beat you to it. But it does, because being an artist does affect every aspect of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You do travel a lot, and it affects your family. You do have your ups and downs with your business. Sometimes you're really busy, and sometimes you're not, so it affects your finances. Even when you start getting busier and more successful, you always have the stress of sitting on a stinky bus with a bunch of people for 3 months and being away from home and dealing with your bandmates. And there's always a lot of issues that you have to deal with. And you don't wake up in the morning and get ready for work and go to work at 8 and then come home at 5 o'clock and forget about it. It's not an 8 to 5 job. It's a 24/7, 365. You wake up thinking about it. You get moving on it. You come home. You talk about it constantly to your family. You're all excited about it. You go to sleep. You dream about it. And you wake up the next day and do it again.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get away from it.
Right.
So the coaching does cover a lot of ground.
Right. So that answers my question. Because my next question was, if I hired you, would you be involved in all aspects of my life? For example, work, family, friends, boyfriends, financial trouble, etc. But you already answered that. The answer would be yes, people. If you didn't get that. If you didn't catch that. Okay. And I know the answer to this, but maybe you guys don't. So do you coach people you know, like friends, or do you keep it professional?
Both. It's harder to coach friends.
Yeah, I would say.
It's much harder to coach friends because
they don't want to listen sometimes.
They don't, and like when you're dealing with a client, they tend to be a little bit more careful. They look at you on a more professional level.
Right.
But when you're working with friends, you do tell them, okay, this week I'd like you to look at this, and then try it next week. As friends, they're generally going to just, come in the next way. I'm sorry, I just didn't have time, and you're supposed to be okay with that.
Right.
So it's really difficult to coach friends. It's very difficult.
I can see that. Definitely. Okay. What about this one? Is there a difference between a success coach and a mentor?
Yes, there is. A therapist is somebody that has been trained to look at a person and deal with their issues, deal with their problems, mental issues, whatever. A mentor is somebody who has a lot of experience in a specific area, and so you work with them, and when you have questions, you ask them, and they train you, and they teach you.
Mm-hmm.
A coach does nothing but ask you questions. They have no preconceived notions. They have no agenda. They have no path already drawn out for you that they're trying to train you to go on.
Uh-huh.
All they're doing is helping you to decide what your path is,
Right.
and then give you the tools that you need to get there.
Okay. Pretty cut and dry. Okay. 2 more questions, guys. Okay. For those interested, how do you become a coach?
How do you become a coach?
Yeah, how do you become a coach?
Good question, because I'm trying to talk her into becoming a sports coach, though. So call her up and encourage her.
Sports coach.
No, she's going to be, if I have my way, she's going to be a coach and work with athletes.
If she has her way.
We'll see. I'm a coach. I know how to inspire.
We'll see.
Okay, so, the first step is to call, and I like to sit and talk to potential customers, clients first, and just talk for a little while and get to know each other well, and be sure that there is the kind of relationship that we need, because the number one priority when I'm coaching somebody is to be sure that we have mutual trust. If there's no trust, there's no nothing. It can't work. They have to be, the client has to be free to say anything they want to say to me and know that it's okay. And I need to be able to feel free to say what I need to say. I feel like it's okay. So if you don't have that mutual trust, it's not going to work.
Right.
So I don't just work with just anybody, but when people call, I talk to them for a while and be sure that it's going to be mutually beneficial for both of us and that we're both comfortable with it. And then they go on the website, and there's a page on there's actually a page on the website that describes each one of the programs. And you just sign up for the first program. We do accept PayPal on the website, and we also have a payment plan on the website, so you don't have to come up with it all at
doing
once.
this to me.
So
That was my
sorry.
last question. My last question was, how much do your services cost, and do you have a payment plan?
The service, the payments, yes, there are payment plans.
Yes.
And the services are based on which program you're on. So you have to go to the website and look.
Website.
But you could go pay through the website, and yes, there are payment plans.
What is the website?
SuccesswithMcIntosh.com.
And how do you spell McIntosh?
Oh, McIntosh. How do you spell success?
SUCCESS.
Give me those! Yes, it's successwithMcIntosh.com, or you can call us. Call Sarah at 866-636-4696 and let us know how we can be a part of your success.
And there's emails as well.
Sarah.Cleveland.
Like the president, CLEVELAND, or the city.
Sarah.Cleveland at successwithMcIntosh.com.
Yes. Or your email. Or do you want them to have your email?
No.
Okay. My email. she's God, so it's not okay.
No, just busy.
Okay, she's just busy.
Okay, thanks everyone for listening, and I hope it answered a lot of your questions. And go ahead, check out our website, give us a call, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thanks, sweetie.